Hi everyone, it's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel and another paper crafting video tutorial. Today I'm going to share how to create this easy one layer autumn background for brand new products from the Mama Elephant October 2023 release. So the goal with this was to create something that was still super interesting that would really showcase these beautiful new products. And to do that, I love to use a masking stencil. This is one of those tools that I find invaluable because over time you can use it over and over again. It instantly adds a look of a matted background. Then we're going to combine some Distress Oxide inks to ink blend the background. No other special stencils needed here. You could totally use them if you want to, but it's not necessary. I started with gathered twigs down at the bottom, and then I'm going to use fossilized amber kind of in that middle section, blending one color into the other. You'll see that the mask is holding that color inside about, a little over a quarter of an inch, not quite half an inch. I pulled the gathered twigs a little bit further up, and then I'm blending the fossilized amber back down into that color. Now, to get the autumn feeling, I chose a color combination that definitely gives autumn feels. So this is some Crackling Campfire. If you wanted to do more of a white winter theme, you could definitely go with some blues or grays or even reds and greens. You could do beautiful blue skies for a spring background. Pinks would be awesome. Pinks and reds for Valentine's. I mean, the possibilities are endless. Just grab your favorite distress inks or ink tools and play with color combinations. Next, I did take a little of the Flickering Candle Distress Mica Stain, and I'm going to add some splatter over my background for some beautiful shimmer. I did use the Altenew stamp wheel to hold my stencil in place while I was working. Look at that nice bright white border all the way around. We instantly have a background ready to embellish. So this is not a one-layer card, but it's not a really thick card either, meaning it's going to be very easy to mail. Next, my washi tape tore off my magnet, but we're going to put some 110-pound weight Neenah white cardstock into our MISTI and grab some images from the awesome new stamp set from Mama Elephant. This is Deliver by Truck. It is so cute. It's got lots of seasonal images in it. And of course, you can mix and match with the Deliver Winter Joy set. And I think it's just an absolutely awesome set for holiday crafting. So I am going to stamp my images, or I should say not holiday crafting, seasonal crafting, pardon. We are going to take our images that have been stamped with a black ink that is alcohol ink friendly and color our images in with some Olo markers. Now, I have been using Olo markers now for almost a year or so, or maybe just at a year, and I am really loving them. I will list the color combinations of the markers I'm using down in the description below the video here on YouTube, as well as over on my blog for easy reference if you see a color combination you like and you would like to replicate it. But we're just going to color it all in. I love to do my backgrounds first, or anything that might involve some dry time, like the splatter, so that while I am working on something a little bit more time intensive, like coloring, that can be air drying. If at all possible, my preference is always to allow my project to air dry before I put anything on it, or in this case, I do want to stamp and emboss a sentiment. You can use a heat tool if you like to do that. I tend to shy away from that a lot, and I have found over the years and over time, I have really kind of found myself allowing for that dry time, I guess, if that makes sense, rather than using the heat tool. The warping of the cardstock, no matter how careful I am, it just seems like there's always a little bit of that warping. And so I always like to just kind of allow myself the time during creativity to let that air dry. I absolutely adore this little fox peeking out of the pumpkins. Now, these images in the stamp set, as well as the additional add-on stamp set, I call it an add-on, it's not called add-on, but they are made to be interchangeable with this truck. So you can have a blast creating all kinds of different cards, tags, bags, all of that good stuff with these images. It is really, really cute. I highly recommend this because it's just an absolutely adorable set. We're going to pull in a little green now. The images for my pumpkins and fox are all very traditional fall colors. Oranges, rusts, yellows, and the yellow greens, as well as some nice dark reds. To contrast that, especially with a background that is created with the same colors, I felt like a bright teal truck was just the ticket. So we will be using some bright blue colors or blue-green colors to color in our truck. And that is going to offset the oranges and yellows perfectly. I feel like it's very much a standout, and I'm testing some blues now in that little corner of my cardstock to make sure that I get a color I like, as well as tie in those blues to the scarf that I have colored around the fox's neck. That pulls a little bit of that blue color into another area of the image, and I just feel like that kind of balances it really, really nicely. I'm giving the truck a nice base color of the aqua blue, and then we will blend in a couple of other shades to deepen and darken other areas. I have found with using the Olo markers and really any alcohol ink marker, the key to success is to make sure you're not oversaturating the cardstock. And this is especially important with small images like Mama Elephant, because you don't have a lot of room for that ink to, spread out before it's outside the stamped line. So you'll notice that I try to move around quite a lot. This is a little bit bigger image with the truck. So I will move from one end to the other, even after I blend, really just trying to be super careful not to oversaturate anything and cause that ink to spread outside of my stamp line. Even if it does, I often will just try to make it work. I'll cover it up with a white pen or something to that effect. I often will not recolor something unless it's just glaringly bad. Now, something fantastic about the truck die cut that coordinates with this stamp set is it does cut out the window. So many die sets don't die cut those details, and I'm loving seeing a lot of companies really lean into die cutting those little inner spaces out now, because it makes those die so much more usable. I'm here for it. I love it so, so much. So we are going to die cut all of these images when we're done. Something else that's super cute about these particular stamps is that there are different critters that you can place driving the truck, if you will. So I chose the cat, but you could choose one of the other images just as easily. Anything here just will make it super cute. I'm going to do some nice, I did light grays along the bottom, kind of just like chrome. I wanted it to kind of look like chrome. Nice dark tires building up the dark gray inks, some reds and yellows for headlights and taillights. And I think that's about it. Then we're going to go into some more of our kind of neutral or neutral oranges for our kitty. I felt like that really worked nice for a fall little kitty. It always, whenever I color a kitty like this, it reminds me of my oldest son's, one of his cats. The one that loves me. Unfortunately, he doesn't love very many people, but he does love women, which is so funny. I mean, he loves my son, but other men scare him. I don't know if it's the voice, the deeper voices or what, but he just is not like men, but he loves women and he just purrs instantly. It's so funny. But he's kind of a scaredy cat, literally, and hides under beds. But that, it reminds me of Apollo. So we've got our little Apollo here. We're going to stick our image in the back of the truck. I've chosen a sentiment from the special delivery stamp set that's going to fit right here underneath the truck. I feel like this gathered twigs border down at the bottom is the perfect spot for it. Now, the reason it's so important to allow dry time, in addition to the mica stain, is if you want to stamp and emboss over Distress Oxide ink, it does need to dry, because if it is still too wet, your embossing powder is going to stick to it. I always do like a little tester. I did it off camera for this one, where I just put some embossing powder on the background before I stamp it and see if it sticks anywhere. If it sticks, I'm not going to go ahead and stamp and emboss yet, because it'll just be a mess. In this case, my background was completely dry. I think a bright white greeting is going to be perfect. I chose the phrase of gratitude for your kindness and support. You make a difference in my life and I'm truly grateful. I love that. This is a fantastic stamp set. And then it has the beautiful, large, scripty special delivery greeting. Mama Elephant is kind of known for this. Over the years, they have had several greeting sentiment stamp sets that have a beautiful, large, scripty greeting and then smaller phrases. And if you guys follow me, you know that's my jam. I stamped special delivery in the same colors of ink that I used for my background. I just did a nice, easy blend with the Crackling Campfire, Fossilized Amber, and Gathered Twigs, so it kind of mimics the background of our card. I stamped that on a separate piece of white cardstock. And again, look at all of the detail where it pops it out. I'm going to add glue to the back of this and glue this in place on my card. Now, something to keep in mind that would be awesome is if you wanted to make this pop up a little bit, you could die cut additional greetings without stamping them and stack them one on top of another. The reason I didn't is that I went ahead and adhered my truck and all my images flat to my card, and it would have been hard to tuck something dimensional back behind the fox and pumpkin image. But I love how that looks. I love how, even though it's the sentiment, it really blends into the back of the card perfectly. I finished my card with a scattering of heart accents, and that is it. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for this special delivery card featuring Mama Elephant stamps and dies from the October 2023 release. The supplies I used are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me today for another paper crafting tutorial. I love being able to share with this incredible community of crafters. I want to give a huge shout out and special thank you to my amazing Patreon members. If you're interested in joining Patreon, please click the link in the description underneath the video here on YouTube. Patreon is a private community where you can support more of what I do. There is exclusive content, information, and behind-the-scenes content. Top-tier members will receive a handmade birthday card during your birthday month, access to D-Stash, and monthly exclusive lives, plus so much more. We would love to have you join our growing community. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel. Click the like button. And don't forget to hit the notification bell to always be notified when I have a new paper crafting video or I go live. Thank you so much for joining, and we'll see you next time.